Anyway, I decided that I was gonna take this YouTube channel a little more seriously, um, and I see a lot of these guys, Right Rod Bob and 62 Impala and R-Peak, and there's several of these new guys, they're in their 30s or something, and they're building some fine stuff, and I enjoy watching these guys, and I hope you enjoy watching my channel. Yeah, forget the haircut, and chop my thumb off. Well, I dug a big hunk out of it, I thought, on that Chrysler. Slipped off and hit the radiator shelf, and it wouldn't heal. And finally, I just couldn't take it no more, and got out the old digging tools, and sure enough, man, that whole piece there, it wasn't torn off and gone, it was rammed right down into my finger real deep. It hit so hard I didn't know, but it just shoved that nail right down inside my finger. Well, anyway, I pulled that thing out, cut off. Oh God, that felt so good. Well, I was kind of a four-fingered guy there for a while. Now, I just sold a little Roadster. I got a lot of little videos up about that. This is 68 Roadrunner I've started for a friend of mine. Now over there is a 1400cc Suzuki Madura, and I got a Yamaha VMAX back there. Well, that bike's really fast. That bike's really fast. Both of them are run perfect. They're just sitting here. I thought about building a car and using one of these motors in the front and one of these motors in the back. Those two motorcycles. But hell, that's a lot of money to invest in something. But anyway, we're moving on with the motor. I'll make a distributor for it. Man, I haven't been selling distributors. I sell these adapters and stuff for making Hemi adapters. To take a 340, 318 small block Mopar distributor, and I make a shaft. You cut off your distributor shaft, and you slide this adapter on it, and it's got this pin to the right length and stuff. And then you bore a hole in it and drive a pin in it, and you're done. They run straight and true, and you can just buy a cheap late model distributor, for $100 or something, or $70 or whatever you can find them for. And you can put on an adapter. It costs you about $30, and now you got $160 distributor, $70 distributor, and the ones that are made for it, they're like $300, $400, $500, $600. I mean, they're not proud about how many hundreds they stick on stuff. So if you're like me, I tried several different ways of trying to do it, making shafts, and they just weren't straight enough. And then I come up with this idea of boring it out on a lathe and cutting it in the mill, and now it's history. I sell lots of them. Anyway, to make a long story short, I was going to modify one of my distributors, my good vacuum advance distributors, for this motor. I have to machine the groove up longer so the distributor will go down in there. It's too long, and it's good. If it's too short, well, you got to make an adapter. But if it's too long, you just cut it down a little bit. So, and first it wasn't getting any oil pressure and turning it. And I think what was happening is the oil pressure or drive gear had come up a little bit, and it just wasn't contacting the oil pump. So putting that one on there and putting just a little pressure on it, holding that shaft down, it's pumping oil good oil pressure. And so anyway, I only have one of these things, because sometimes I go months I won't sell one, then I'll sell two or three, and then I'll sell a couple more. And so it's not worth it for me to store up, a pile of $100 distributors that, who knows how long it's going to take. I always try to keep one on hand. And so anyway, one day two guys ordered two of those distributors. Well, I just had ordered some a couple days before, you know, and so it was a good thing I did, because I could take this distributor here and one of the ones that's coming and give them to the clients. And then I got this other one, so I have to wait to try to start this thing until the other distributor comes, and I ain't got time to modify it. But anyway, I was going to start a channel. I'm married. My wife just loves to grow stuff. This is kind of what's left here on this side. And the other side's all full of stuff. And you know, I rode motorcycles and stuff for 50, 60 years, you know, long time. I found this trailer. I've been in here for like 10 years or so. It was a real nice big one. And when I wasn't married, this was fine for me. You know, I have room here. I got 2 sheds. I got a big lathe. I can park 4 or 5 cars around in here if I stack them up. I don't have a garden or anything, you know. So, and the rent's real cheap. So anyway, I started building, and then I had a heart attack. And anyway, here's the last one here. This is this Roadrunner, and we'll kind of sort of use it as an intro to my channel sort of deal. Well, here's my next project. It's a 67 Plymouth Roadrunner. Pretty straight, mostly all here. Got a 383 V8 in it. Was a 4-speed car. Windshield's all broken out, but we've got another one here. It's only got 1 chip in it. The other one is it's full of holes anyway, so I might have a crack in it too. I don't know. Anyway, it's got half-ass windshield. The doors are pretty straight. Apparently it was a black car with white interior. I pulled a bunch of shit out of the back seat. Started cleaning up the floorboards here. And I thought I'd start a video. It's got 2 big bucket seats in it. These are not for this car. It's got a cracked up dash. We got another dash in the back. Got 14-inch wheels on it, which are not right. This is a 1 rust spot. All of these rust out in this particular place, but it don't look like there's much else. The back's pretty straight. The trunk's pretty straight. Got a bunch of shit in it. It was originally apparently an automatic car. Somebody put a 4-speed in it, which is gone. This is supposedly one of the original wheels, but that don't look right to me. Yeah, the guy trying to sell it was, well, it was a 160-mile-an-hour car, and he drove it 140 all day. And shit, these old 383s, they barely made 400 horsepower if you're lucky. Anyway, stick a Roadrunner sticker on it, and it's a 200-mile-an-hour car. I'm doing it for a friend of mine. He paid $5 grand for it, which yeah, ain't too bad, I guess. It's got some rust here in the bottom of the fender panel. This side looks like it had some Bondo work done on it. I don't know how far it goes or how bad it is. I don't really see any more rust. This door's been Bondoed up, but it don't look like it was too bad. Somebody pulled it out with a body hammer. The glass is good in it, except for that front windshield. This back one here is, of course, got another rust spot right here. But this is the next project. 67 Roadrunner. Beep beep. It's kind of hard to tell. There's a few dents in it, but basically it's pretty straight. Doors open and close. Now we got another radiator. It's got an automatic radiator in it. This one's just laying here. I don't know if any of this is any good. I was just cleaning it out. Got this windshield out of the back seat. It's got 2 door windows that came with it, or 1 anyway. I thought I saw 2. Full of trash and junk. There's a pile of rat shit in there. Must be 10 pounds of it. Now the interior headliner's gone. You know, rats got into that. It does have a key, and that looks like a 4-speed column or hole in the thing there. I'm not sure. Definitely these seats don't belong to it. I believe these are the original headrests that were in a Roadrunner. Free oil can. It was white interior. It's pretty trashed, you know. It's all over trashed. Mirror's not right. But all in all, it's pretty good. Let's look at the motor here. This is not the right hood for it, but apparently the guy bought one of these Ram Air Scoop hoods. It looks like it's not in that good a shape. And this was off our, looks like our original red car. It's got this thing here, which is good. Man, the guy, one of the big things, the guy selling it, oh yeah man, there's 15 quarts of transmission fluid in it. Yeah, well it is. I checked the oil, it's all the way up to the top. He just filled the motor with transmission fluid. What he thought he was doing, I don't know. It don't look like there's any bolts in this manifold. I think it's just sitting on here. Missing a water pump. I did find a water pump in the back. But it's 383 block, big tube headers. Radiator look like it might be good. It's got a 4-speed in the back, and I'll pull that. Check it out. There's a bent up bumper here. It's no good, but there's a pretty straight one that came with the car. And I found a little aluminum light trim for it, so it's missing some stuff. It's gonna take a bit to get running. My deal is I'm just gonna clean it up, do whatever I gotta do to get this engine running, and see if it's any good. You know, maybe patch up some of that bad. I'm not gonna do a full body job on this thing, but he can take that somewhere else. But I can weld up the rusted places. I don't know, it just depends on how this project goes. But the idea here is basically just to get it running and driving. Once I clean it up a little, I'll have a better idea whether I want to mess with the body work. I could squirt it in primer. At least it would look halfway presentable, rather than all this stuff here. And running and driving with what we got. I'm not going to try to do any kind of restoration. It's the wrong motor in it. but I'll probably put an automatic in it. That's what was supposed to be in the car. But it looks like that was a 4-speed. Hole there in the down there in the transmission tunnel. I don't remember, it's been a long time since I worked on these things. But the back seat's alright. The seat part, the back is gone. Rat's got a hold of it. Looks like the steering wheel and stuff's good. And we got a little Roadrunner beep beep on it. Anyway, not a numbers matching unmolested car, but pretty decent for $5,000. I don't know. I don't think I would have paid him that. But you know, if it's all put back together pretty good, you know, it's probably worth $20,000 even without numbers matching and stuff. We'll see. So that's the next project. Got my little Roadster over there covered up. I'll work on it on and off. I have no room at all, so I had to make some room here to put this big old beast in there. I'll try to get this knocked out, running and driving and halfway decent looking in a month. And we'll see what happens. Well, this side's cleaned out pretty good. Got some rust right here in it. The rest of it looks pretty solid, but it did rust through right there. But I still haven't got all the trash out, but it basically looks pretty good. The other side not rusted. But anyway, that's what we got here. The VIN code says it was a vinyl bench seat that was in this thing. It's got these two buckets in it now. I guess we could put those in. They're not the right seats for this car at all, but good enough. And it had something else here, and I found a quarter section here. It looks like just looking at it, that's the right one. Just replace that whole thing there. Whether I want to do that or just cut that part that's rusted out, I don't know, but at least it's got the quarter section. Finish digging all this out here. Get out of there, cat. And he's got to go into everything. Anyway, finish cleaning it up, put that seat back in, move on to cleaning up the motor and trunk. Alright, finished cleaning that up. Looks like the floorboard's in decent shape. Just that one rust hole there. Surface rust, it's pretty bad, but it's not just complete cancer. Probably just get a patch panel for that, really. The other side, like I said, is good. I don't know what the console or anything would look like in this, or how hard they'd be to find, or even if you could. Door panels not much good. They're just kind of, at least they're there in a pattern. Same thing, the other one's pretty good. The back ones are still there. So, and couldn't find any more broken glass, so basically I'd say it's about 95% complete. Got her door handles and stuff like that. I found a bunch of shit they'd thrown in the back. So, and I got about 10 feet of good heavy welding cable. Use that for something for sure. Next is this mess. Trash. Anyway, we've got 3 or 4 gaskets up here. None of them fit it. Looks like this is for a 350 engine for Buick V8, Buick Jeeps and Oldsmobiles and Pontiacs. So that's not even close to the right gasket kit. I don't know what this is. Probably the old rear carpet, or maybe the trunk thing. I'll drag all this out of here, see what I got. Well, the intake manifold had 1 bolt in it. Somebody blocked off the heat riser here. It looks like it's a pretty bad gasket, valley bend gasket, but they had it taped up, so don't look like there's a lot of crap went down into the motor. So maybe this will be alright, and they did a pretty good job of blocking off that distributor there. I like the Mopars with that distributor in front. Same thing with Fords. I hate Chevy and GM and all that shit back and back. Yeah, it looks like it's got plugs in it. I haven't really got under there to look and see if it's got a starter or anything. They said it turned over, but it's probably got 4 gallons of transmission fluid in it, so I guess they just filled a oil pan up with transmission fluid and thought that was the way to do it. I mean, you would fill all the cylinders up if you're going to do that, but it's obviously they didn't pour anything into any of the intake manifolds because they're dry as a bone. Anyway, a lot of work. Got some nice tin valve covers, gold anodized. They probably look a lot better than these old funky aluminum ones. Probably don't seal as well. And battery cables are all gone. There's some stuff here. You see 2 plugs here. I'm gonna just lay down there and see if I can see a starter of any kind. Well, we'll see what we got. If I can find a starter, I can at least hook it up and see if it turns over with the starter. Well, I found the starter. And I noticed that the battery cable was melted all the way back through the harness here. And if you can see there, the header's, you know, touching the starter. And you can see where the old battery cable was, but I was able to get it to turn over real slow. Of course, it got the plugs in it. But the starter works and the solenoid works, and I think what they did, that battery cable was so close to this header that it grounded out and burnt this cable all the way up to here. So, and that was probably the end of the running for it at that point. So anyway, don't need a starter. I crawled under there and looked. It's got a bell housing, obviously, or the starter wouldn't go in, and it looks like there's a pressure plate there. So I'll pull that transmission out of the back and take a look at it, and then I guess my next deal would be to jack it up. See, that's half the size of a regular battery. I can jack it up, put it on jack stands. I can crawl under there and see what's going on with the back of the motor and the headers. I know the motor's sitting way down, but I'm going to need a distributor, so I might as well order a distributor. In the meantime, I can work on the stuff that is going to need to start. Found a water pump. It's probably pretty good. Well, I don't know if it is or not. Need to have an alternator, a couple pulleys probably, and intake manifold gasket. We'll see if I can get it up and a good cable on it. I think I've got another, I don't know, I've got an electrical box there that I had quite a bit of cable, and I think I cut about 3 feet off of the cable that went into my little roadster, because it ran all the way from the back to the front. And I might have enough to make battery cable for this. If not, I'll just have to buy one, because it's going to need a battery cable one way or the other. And just try to work on getting the motor started. And need a carburetor. So I need a carburetor and a distributor to start with, and I can kind of order that off of eBay and work on stuff until it gets here.